Hey guys, welcome to the reviewing of every Jurassic World movie and every big bad dinosaur. If you guys do agree with my lists, make sure you guys do put it in the comments, and if you don't, still put it in the comments. And make sure you guys do subscribe, like the video, and let's get right into the rankings. Number 5 is the Giganotosaurus, and the reason why is, I mean, it's no surprise, is this thing had 4 scenes in the entire movie of Dominion. So, yeah, and the reason why there's only 5 is because there's only 5 villains, because in the second movie, the T-Rexes are the villains again in the Lost World. And number 4 is the Indoraptor. This would have been my number 3 slot if it had more screen time and if it was introduced earlier into the movie. And I liked the design of the Indoraptor. I just wish it had a bit more screen time in the movie, because it came in like the last 20 minutes of the film, and like half of that was like 10 minutes. And I really wish it just had more screen time, to be honest, because this would have been a great dinosaur villain if it had more screen time, and if it was introduced earlier in the movie, and if there was like a bit more build up to it. So if we had a bit more build up to the Indoraptor, it would have felt more menacing than other dinosaurs in the franchise, like the villain dinosaurs. So that's kind of why I put this at my number 4 spot. So yeah. At my number 3 spot is the Spinosaurus. So I think everyone can relate to this one. It was gone too quickly in Jurassic Park 3. And it just got set on fire and just ran away, and then that's it. So that's kind of why. And it was cool and everything, but I just wish that I had a bit more screen time and it was not rushed out in the movie that quickly. Coming in at the number 2 spot is the Indominus Rex, and I had a hard time choosing between the T-Rex and the Indominus Rex, but this has to be my number 2 favorite dinosaur villain. And the reason why is, in the Jurassic World, it was the villain, the dinosaur villain throughout the entire movie. It escaped early, and it was like a threat between the entire movie, through the entire movie, which I really did like. It built up some suspenseful moments in the movie. Like that end battle scene is really good. It's really it's so visual, which I really like. That's kind of why I kind of ranked this one at my number 2, because it was visually very pleasing, and it was very fun to look at and experience in the theater. Of course, at my number 1 spot, it has to be the T-Rex. It's been like the staple of the entire franchise. The Spinosaurus has been the only thing that kills it, so it has barely any deaths, except the prologue and for Jurassic World Dominion. But yeah, this has to be the number 1 big bad dinosaur in the entire franchise, and I don't really need to say that much. I think all of you agree with me. It's really cool to see the T-Rex, because I feel like they just turned into the good guys, which is okay. I'll get that. I'll explain it more in my movie reviews in a few minutes when I get to that. So yeah, this is my number 1 dinosaur, and let's get to that tier list, and I'll explain it. So this is the tier list, guys. We have the T-Rex at it's the best, and we also have the Indominus Rex. Then below that we have the Spinosaurus, and it's good. Then below that we have the Indoraptor, which it's okay. And then below that we have awful, which is the Giganotosaurus. Okay, guys, it is time for the movie ranking. Now, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to review all the movies. Then I'm going to make a tier list at the very end of the video, and I'll be showing you guys how I rank all of the different Jurassic movies. So just like I did with the dinosaurs, I'll be doing that with the movies too. So let's get right into the ranking of the Jurassic movies. Number 6 is Jurassic Park 3, and the reason why this is the bottom of the list is because of this scene. It's also on my number 6 list. That number 6 is because the third act just crumbles together. It just feels so rushed, and there's so many annoying characters like Amanda, and it just crumbles apart. So that's why it's at my number 6 spot. I don't need to explain this movie any further. Let's get to the number 5 spot. Coming in at number 5 is Jurassic Park: The Lost World. And I like all these movies on the list. I am not a hater of any of these movies. It's just there's just such a big cast in The Lost World that it gets hard to like feel each other, the characters' emotions, because there's too many characters. There's too big of a cast, and even though like the stakes are higher, there's just too big of a cast to like feel scared because there's too many people talking. And I do like how they returned Jeff Goldblum's character, but it's just okay. All of these movies are good, including Dominion. It's just some of these movies just need to have a littler cast. That's the reason why I don't like this movie. Coming in at number 4, guys, is Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. And there were so many things I liked about this movie, but there were so many things I hated. So let me talk about it. So the one thing I really liked is like the shots, and the shots are beautiful. Director J.A. Bayona did fantastic on this movie, and yeah, the shots are beautiful. But then there are some story elements that I didn't like. Like, I didn't like how the Indoraptor came in so late in the movie. So that's kind of why I kind of have it on my number 4 spot. So another reason why I don't really particularly like this movie is it kind of shifts like direction and towards the half of the movie. It goes from being like an action sci-fi adventure to like I don't know how to explain it, but like well, it turned into like a bidding auction, which it's fine. But one complaint that I want to like put out there, like not put out there, like I want to discuss is the weaponizing of dinosaurs in this movie. They kind of put more into that movie, like into this movie. But like this, like people hate the weaponizing of dinosaurs, and I like it because this is what big companies would do if they had access to genetic power. I don't get why people like hate on the Jurassic World franchise. It's what big companies would do if they had like access to genetic power, and this is what they would do. Like they would weaponize things to go into war. This is why people should actually like this, because this is what big companies would do. That's all I have to say for Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Let's get on to my number 3 spot, and it will surprise you. Probably not. Coming in at my number 3 spot is Jurassic World, the first one, just the first Jurassic World. This is probably one of the best Jurassic movies out there. But I liked it, but I feel like they just stuffed dinosaur fights just for dinosaur fights, because they just like the whole raptor training was kind of cool, I guess. I really like it. I like it better in the later movies of Jurassic World, but that's besides the point. This movie is so good, and I don't know why. It's either because I was just a dinosaur nerd back then when I saw it, but it still holds up to this day for me, and I have a special place for this. I have a special place for the entire Jurassic World saga. I just don't know why. I just grew up with the Jurassic World movies, and that's why they're kind of higher up on my list. So yeah. And another thing I like about Jurassic World is the characters. Owen Grady is likable. We have Claire Dearing, which is honestly fine. She's okay in this movie. She's better in the other movies. Then we have Zach and Gray. They're kind of like the kids for the movies, because if you guys don't know that, there's like a kid like point of view in every single movie, which it's okay. But this is like the start of like the weaponizing of dinosaurs in the franchise. So it's fine. Coming in at my number 2 spot, I like the first Jurassic Park movie and the Jurassic World Dominion equally. And this was a tough one. I have to go with Jurassic World Dominion. This movie was so good for me, and I just don't know why. I really liked this movie for some reason. Everyone says it was disappointing. I get more into it in my other review for Jurassic World Dominion, but like this movie did not disappoint me, and I loved this movie so much that I will watch it again in the theaters. I want to go watch it again in the theaters. And the main complaint why it's not my number one is that I wish there was more scenes with the Giga, because in the interviews with Colin Trevorrow, he was like the Joker dinosaur, but we didn't even get that. But maybe in like Camp Cretaceous Season 5 we'll learn more, maybe. But it's just an overall great movie, and I don't know why. I love Jurassic World Dominion. It's by far my favorite Jurassic World movie. So let's get into my number one spot, which is probably not that surprising.
You coming or what?
Coming in at number one, guys, is the original Jurassic Park. And I don't even need to say that much about this movie. This movie was just golden Steven Spielberg. This movie was so good and innovative in so many ways. It brought dinosaurs alive in this movie, and which I loved, and I liked the characters. I love seeing the legacy characters come back in Dominion, but it's just something about this movie still holds up to today. The CGI is still so good. Like, it has so many like complex ideas that they wanted to throw in this movie, and it works. That's the main complaint I have about the Jurassic World movies, is that they throw in too many ideas to set up other movies, but there's nothing to come, because supposedly Jurassic World Dominion was the ending of it, but there's more sequels announced. But Jurassic Park was just so good, and I just don't know why. I don't even need to talk about this movie that much. This is just, it's just so good. And the use of animatronics in this movie are just so good, and sometimes I couldn't even tell what was CGI and, well, animatronic, because you could barely even tell. This movie was just so good, and it is definitely going to be a classic for many years to come, and yeah, that's kind of why I love this movie. It's just, I could keep on rewatching this movie and not get bored, because I love the Jurassic franchise, and I just don't know why, because this entire franchise is so good. So yeah. Hey guys, we have Jurassic Park at S tier and Jurassic World Dominion at S tier. Then below that we have Jurassic World. Then below that we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Then below that we have Jurassic Park 3 in the Lost World Jurassic Park. That wraps up my ranking of every single Jurassic World movie and the villain dinosaurs. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and make sure you guys do subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!